Welcome to Insight from the Torah portion. This week, Parsha is Parashat Korach, and we're going to learn beautiful ideas about the Parsha, and we'll get to how to deal when there's a conflict between people, because in Korach's story there was a conflict between Korach and Moshe, and we will learn how to deal with it. What can we do? So we'll get a tool and we'll learn about the Torah, as usual, with beautiful ideas. So there's what to expect. Stay with me. If you didn't subscribe yet to the channel, now it's the time. Please subscribe. So the idea to this Torah portion is taken from Rav Eliezer Kashtiel book. The name of the book is Siman Lebanim. I don't know if he has it in English. The idea from Parashat Korach. And like I said, Korach, he comes with complaints to Moshe now. He says, if everybody is Kadosh, Hashem is inside everybody is holy. So why there's different places for people? Why some people are Levi and some are Kohen, and not everybody can do the same stuff? There's places that the Kohanim can go into in Beit HaMikdash, but in the temple, but other people can't. So he wants to eliminate the gvulot, the difference between people, between stuff. And I will read the pasuk. He says, "Veikalu al Moshe ve'al Aaron." He came to Moshe and Aaron together with his group. "Vayomer elehem rav lachem, ki kol ha'eda kulam kedushim." It's enough. Everybody is holy. ובתוכם Hashem. Hashem is in every one of us. We are all equal. ומדוע תתנסו על קהל Hashem? Why you more important than other people? Why the Kohanim can go in certain places in the temple that Levi can't, and Levi can go in places that Israel can't? And Chazal, our rabbis, they say that in the Midrash, also Korach said, if there's a house full of Torah, does it need also a mezuzah in it? Because it's already full of Torah in it. And if a cloth, it's all from a special blue color called tchelet, does it also need a tzitzit that has a tchelet in it? And it basically says, if everybody is holy, if Hashem is in every one of us, so why we need rules and stuff that will limit us? Because Hashem is in us, so we just need to listen to Hashem that is in us, and we will know what's the right thing to do. Why we need all this mitzvot and chukim and rules? So now I want to talk a little bit about truth. In Baba Batra, it's in the Gemara, there's a story about a guy that travels between places, and Rabba Bar Chana, it's the Rav in the story, he meets him, and this guy that travels takes him to different places in the history of Israel. And one of the places is the place where Korach and his people were swallowed in the ground. And they go there and they see two holes in the ground, and there's smoke coming out of there. And the smoke shows that there's really big fire going on inside. And so Rabbi Bar Chana can see the big fire. The Ishmaeli takes wool, white wool, and he puts water on it, and then he takes it and put it inside the place the smoke coming from. And then when he take it out, you see that the wool is completely burnt, even though it was with water. And when they listen to the noises that come from those holes in the ground, they say, they hear voices that say, Moshe emet, v'torato emet. Moshe is the truth, and his Torah is the truth. It's this Agadah is in Baba Batra, page Ayin Daled, Daf Aleph, like the first page. And Rav Kook, he explains this Agada in a very Kabbalistic way. And he explains that the wool that is white is like Sfirat Chesed, that Chesed is like white is not one color, it's all the colors together and it's not limited to one color. So that's also Chesed. It's unlimited, you just give. And also water, it was soaked in water, the wool. The water is also like Chesed. They just flow all over the place without boundaries. If you spill water on the floor, it just goes all over the place. But if you just flow with no boundaries, there's you can give up the truth. And that's why from those holes in the ground, they hear the people yelling for the truth. They say, we know Moshe is a met and the Torah is true and Moshe is true. We want the truth. And the word that gets burnt, it shows that the chesed, the giving without boundaries, without emet, without truth, it just doesn't stay. The truth just burns it up because we need truth. Chesed by itself, just giving and doing good, it needs limits because it's not always just good to give to everybody in every situation. There's some people that if you give them and then they don't know what to do with it. Like if you give a small kid a big amount of money, so it doesn't know what to do with this money. We just waste it, get into debt, make more problems. So when you give it needs to be specific and right to the person that gets it, not just give without seeing who you're giving to. Now I want to talk about truth and chesed and giving, adama, like earth, and water, right? The stuff that we were talking about right now. So I want to connect them to Briat HaOlam. And when the world was created, in the third day, there was the Yabasha, the earth was created. Basically, in the second day, there was water that was covering everything. And there wasn't any branches. And then and you see, when there's just water, there wasn't any fruits. There wasn't nothing was growing from it. It wasn't developing. But the minute there was earth, in the third day there was boundaries to the water. So then they was able to use the water in order to have food, but water by itself, it's not good. So that's why in the second day, it wasn't say kitov, it wasn't, Hashem didn't say it's good, because water, chesed, given by itself without boundaries, it's not good. You need boundaries for it. And I will read the pasuk of the second day. It says, Vayomer Elokim ikavu amayim mitachat l'shamayim el makom echad. That's the third day. Hashem says, all the water should go to one place, v'tirei yabasha, and then they see the dry place. Yabasha is from yavesh, because it was dry, it wasn't wet with the water. V'ikra Elokim layabasha eretz, he calls the yabasha, the dry place, eretz, like earth or land, and lemikveh hamayim kara yamim, and where there's water, he called it yam, like ocean or sea. V'rei Elokim kitov, and then God see that was good. When there was boundaries, when there was limit to the water, then it was good, because it's good. You want to do chesed, you wanted to give. And it's interesting that Korach, he got a very interesting onesh. What happened to Korach for him not behaving? The earth opened his mouth, that's how it says, Tiftach ha'adama et pia. It opened its mouth and swallowed it. And the idea is somebody that wants word that based on just flowing with no boundaries, with no laws. So it doesn't have a steady ground to stand on top, and the ground just opens and swallows him. And it's very interesting that every day in the tefillah, there's Shir Shel Yom, like a special song from Tehillim that connects to the same day. And in the second day of the week, we say Shir Mizmor Livnei Korach. That's like kind of making a tikkun for the sin of Korach. And in the second day, we said there was like chesed with no boundaries. So in the second day, it says in that mizmor that everybody is happy and graceful for Hashem making tzedek, chok, and mishpat. For Hashem making laws and having rules. And I will read it from with the pasuk. It's in Tehillim, Perek Memchet, it's 48, and it's the 11 and 12 psukim. It says, Keshimcha Elokim, ken tehilatecha. Like your name, God, that's the way we praise you. Al katzvei eretz, in the end of all the sides of the land. Tzedek mala yeminecha, there's tzedek, there's truth, there's being honesty, there's Ismach al Tzion, Tagena bnot Yehuda leman mishpatecha. Har Tzion, the mountain of Tzion, of Jerusalem, will be happy, and the growers of Yehuda will also be happy for your mishpatim, for your rules, for having rules and organize and limitation. And that kind of gives an answer to all the stuff that exactly against what Korach was against, because he wanted no boundaries, no organization, everybody's the same, no rules. And in this Shir Shel Yom, it's exactly an answer for that. So that's beautiful. Okay, last idea, and then we go into our CBT idea. So we learned that in the second day of the creation, there was water with no boundaries. But in the second day, there was kind of boundaries that wasn't like sin. There was a rakia that was created. That there was a thing that is basically makes difference between the water in the up and the water in the bottom. It splits it. read the pasuk, ויאמר אלוקים יהי רקיע בתוך המים, ויהי מבדיל בין מים למים. ויעש אלוקים את הרקיע, ויבדל את המים אשר מתחת לרקיע, ובין המים אשר מעל הרקיע. Okay, that's what happened in the second day. Hashem basically, he creates the rekia, the thing that separates between the water in the top and the water in the bottom. It's in Bereshit, first paragraph, and psukim 6-7. And basically, Hashem separates between the holy world to our world. And this separation makes everything in its place without contradicting one each other. And our rabbis, they explained that in the second day, there was created the Mahloket. They make not agreeing one with each other. That's in Bereshit Rabbah, Daled Seif Vav, the fourth chapter in Bereshit Rabbah, in the 6th paragraph. So Korach and his people, they did a Mahloket. They were saying, okay, we're not happy with the situation. They came with complaints to Moshe. And we learn in the Mishnah, there's good Mahlokot. there's good not agreeing, like Mahloket, Beit Hillel, Beit Shammai. Like when Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai are fighting each other, that's good because it's L'Shem Shamayim, it's for God, it's something that wants to develop us. But the Mahloket for itself, just being not agreeing with a different person, doesn't have bracha to it. It's not holy. It's not. It doesn't make us grow. And Mahloket is good. When we have a conflict, it's good. When it makes us grow, when we grow from it, and when it creates a better situation. And in the Parsha, the people that do the Mahloket, they take a machta. It's like a tool that they put a fire and ktoret on it. And then in the continuum of the Parsha, it shows that they took those same machtot, the same tool, and they turned it to something holy. They turned it into a cover for the Mizbeach. And I will read it from the Psukim. It's in the Bamidbar Perek Yudzayin, the 17th chapter, and it's in the Psukim 3 and 4. It says, את המחטות החטאים האלה בנפשותם, ועשו אותם רקועי פחים ציפוי למזבח. They took it, these מחטות, and made them רקועי פחים. They covered the mizbeach with it. The place that you make sacrifice, they covered it with those tools that was for Mahloket. They turned it into something holy. And it's interesting, they use the word rikuei pachim. Rikuei, like the word rakia. And when Hashem separates the water in the top and the water in the bottom in the second day, he separates with something that calls rakia. So it's the same thing. You want something that will separate between worlds, between the holy and this world, and everything should be in its right place. And that's the idea for the Parasha. And now I want to talk about how to deal with a conflict that we have between people, what we can do, what CBT offers. So this idea is taken from a model that's called Mapa. In Hebrew, Mapa is like a map, and you write it Mem Pei Hey in Hebrew. And it's based on like CBT. There's a thing called Shefer. It's an idea like CBT, so it's based from there, but it's very connected to CBT too. So sometimes we don't know what's the right thing to do. There's conflict and we don't know who's right. So then we need a map, something that will help us to understand the reality and the situation and be able to solve the problem. And usually when there is a conflict between people, so the two different people have different ideas and they have different aims that they want to get to, but those aims are not contradict. Sometimes they're just different and we just need to figure them out. So that's why we need a map that will help us to see all the stuff, see what is the limitation of everybody, what everybody needs, and then we can actually find a good solution. So the word map in Hebrew, we will use it as our guidance. So Mapa in Hebrew, Mem Pei Hey. So Mem is for Metziut, for the situation, for the reality. Pei is for Parshanut. It's the way we explain stuff to ourselves, how we explain it. And Hey is Hargasha, the way we feel. So in the first stage, we need to understand the reality, the Metziut. What are the facts? Yeah, we need to understand that there's a different person with different needs, and we need to understand, try to see the stuff from his point of view. And changing the perspective and listening to the other person can help me understand what's going on and maybe even change the way we the way I understand it and explain this stuff to myself. If I actually listen to the other person, I might understand where it's coming from and why he's saying stuff. It doesn't mean that I would change my ideas, but I might understand, and will help me to solve the issues if I understand where it's coming from. The second stage is parshanut, and it's the way I explain stuff. So we need to look at the fact and see what I explain to myself from those facts. And I need to understand that I have the ability to choose how to explain myself the stuff that happened. Because one thing can happen, but I can explain it in different ways. For instance, I had a couch, I put it underneath the house. Then one day it wasn't there. So then there's different ways I can explain to myself the situation. The first time I said, oh, the first minute I said, oh, somebody stole my couch. And that leads to the third stage, that is emotions. Because the way I explain stuff to myself, it will influence my emotion. So if I said, okay, somebody stole my couch, it's not fair, it's not okay. So I felt angry and upset and stuff like that. But then I changed the way I thought, the way I explained myself the situation. And I said, okay, maybe somebody that took it, it didn't have a place to sleep at. Maybe he was sleeping on the floor. And now he took my comfortable couch and he has a place to sleep on instead of sleeping on the floor. And it's better for him. Maybe it's like a tzedakah and charity. And that actually made me feel much better, and I was kind of happy that I was able to help somebody that needed a place to sleep. So that's the way, it's the same situation, but I explained it in a different way and completely changed the way I felt. So understanding that I can choose how to explain the situation, it gives me back the powers on my life. And I can choose if I want to do one thing and miss other thing. Like maybe I can say, okay, fine, I won't be right on this conflict, but I will get a more happy family, more happy husband. So even though I'm right, I'm not going to fight about it because I want to keep the good atmosphere in the house. So I choose what to fight about and what not. And now I want to help you to understand what is the psychology of having Mahloket and conflict with other person. Then when we understand how stuff happens, it will help us to know how to deal with it. So basically, when I'm trying to change somebody's old way of thinking, it feels that I'm attacking him. And then he just sticks in his place. And even though he maybe agrees that he needs to change and he knows the situation is not good for him, but maybe it's hard for him to change or not comfortable for him, and he doesn't have the motivation to do it. And then when I'm trying to convince him to change, it will just make him be more strong in his position, and the conflict will just grow. So, and also another thing we need to take into account is that when we have a conflict with somebody, when we fight with somebody else, we look up them from the top to the bottom. Like I say, oh, I'm better than you. I know what is right to do, and you don't. I'm the right and you the wrong. And then there's like a space between the people, and one is like above and one is in the bottom. And the one that is in the bottom, it feels like it doesn't have self-confidence and that it is not capable of doing stuff because people are looking down on them. And then his motivation to change even gets smaller. So what can we do? So first of all, in order to stop a conflict, it's enough that one side will stop, because you can't fight with only one side. You need two sides to fight. So first of all, I need to go out from the idea that it's not my role to change somebody else. I'm only responsible for myself. And I need to accept the other person the way he is. I'm not coming looking name from the top. I'm looking as equal person. It doesn't need to give me anything, and I'm not going to fight with them. I can explain them stuff, I can ask for them stuff, but I'm not going to tell them what to do. And then the other person, it doesn't feel like people start looking at them from the top. It doesn't feel like it doesn't have a ability to do stuff, and is more open to make change, and it has more motivation to change. And also, I need to understand that if something is not comfortable for me in the behavior of the other person, it's my problem, because for me, it's not comfortable. If it wasn't comfortable for him, he already will make the change, but probably it's okay for him. So I have a problem, not him, because for me, it's not comfortable. I have a problem like, okay, like for instance, I feel I do everything in the house, but I have the problem because it's hard for me to do everything by myself. So then I need to look at the map like we learned and see what is the way I can help myself to solve the problem. So for instance, if I feel like I'm doing everything by myself and it's too hard for me and I can't do it, so I can bring somebody to help me, like a cleaner or a babysitter that will take care of the kids, and then I can have time. Or I can go to a therapist and get more ideas, but I need to go to a therapist for myself. It's not a couple therapist because it's my issue, remember? So I want to wish you a Shabbat full of shalom with no Mahloket. And Bezrat Hashem, we'll see you next week. If you want to join my WhatsApp group, there's a link in the bottom. And you will get these Torah classes straight to your WhatsApp every week. And also, you're welcome to write to me in my Gmail. All my information is in the bottom. Share this video so other people will enjoy it. And see you next week. Bye.